Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back for some more EVE Online, and in today's video I am taking you guys on an exploration tour. It's been a while, I think, since I've made a video purely showing you guys my exploration experience in EVE Online, and my favorite ship to do that in is still the Ishtar. The drones are just so versatile that this is by far at this point my favorite ship when it comes to relaxing exploration. The sentry drones just make everything so easy right off the bat, and if you are in a bit more trouble, if you need to move around a little bit, well, you still have 5 ogres to really do massive damage on any of the targets. So let's get started here. The tunnel itself empty. We do have 19 people in local, so there are quite a few people that either come from Providence or want to stick around close to Providence, and then there are also some people that use my facilities in Detal, which is of course why they are there. Next up we have Chunka. You can see the difference, 3 people in local. This one is right next to Lowsec, and is quite often a very good system for my exploration runs. You can see the lower population, and you also do have combat sites that tend to spawn here quite often. Now this very first signature, QOA, well, it looks pretty decent in circumference. So if you start out with like this big red circle that looks a lot bigger than your average ones, you've got a decent chance at finding a good combat site, but quite often it's also gonna be a wormhole, of course. So let's see what we're dealing with. The other anomaly in system is only a large kernite deposit, so and umber, so obviously not something that my all-in-one Ishtar can handle. And here we are talking about a wormhole, unfortunately, so not the best of starts. And we move on to Tashinaz. This is gonna be my regular round trip around Detal. Something that I do almost every day, just to take a look at what's available. You very quickly get a good feel of whether or not lots of people are competing for your sites at the moment. 3 people in Chunka is pretty normal, but also on the lower end of things. 4-5 is what we normally see here. Tashinaz is gonna be very interesting. This one is a very good system, even better than Chunka for my exploration, because it is out of the way of everything. We do have 4 people in local and 4 signatures, so it's more people in local than what I would normally expect. So I do think that this means that it's pretty busy, but 4 signatures is not bad. This gives us a decent chance at finding a good site. Sancha hideaways, drone assemblies, I don't think any of those sites are interesting enough to try and run on your first round trip. Refuges, I do tend to do those on my round trips. And well, that's really the ones that I focus on, because they escalate to 3 out of 10s. On the second round trip I might do Sancha Dens, because they have a small chance at a good faction spawn as well, and things like that. You know what we're gonna do here? We are going to try to clean up some of these sites as well. So we are going to grab the Relic Site and see what the others are all about. The reason for that is I still get this feeling that when you actually feel like there's not a lot available, actually running anomalies and signatures tends to shake things up enough that you increase the chance of spawns within the systems that you're checking. This may just be some sort of bias, of course, because when you actually run these things, it does mean that you're spending more time in a system than you normally would. But yeah, I think it increases the chances of something good spawning in. So let's see what the others are. WZL as we warp towards the Relic site, and let's see here, Relic Analyzer, that is that one. Yep, so that's a wormhole. And then over here, probably pretty near to that Celestial. Let's see what we're talking about here. As we have a pretty long warp to our Relic sites. There we go, 3. We are not finding anything. Alright, let's go a little bit bigger. Take the closest one. Activate Afterburner and then give it an orbit at 500. That's where the signature is, actually near the other planet. So, what are you? As we try to approach the Sash debris, Now, no rats or anything like that here, so you can definitely run these relic and data sites. And here we get another relic site while you are scanning for more signatures. And the range on this puppy is 6 kilometers. All right. So that's another one of these. Okay. And then, oh man, they're actually quite far away from each other. So we've got that one. We still have that stuff to do up there. Let's see if we can combine both activities. We'll go like that just to be safe. Now let's see if we can quickly run the relic. I usually, yep, there you go, tend to cross the road when it comes to the hacking, and that tends to work. So we can go on to the next one. Get rid of that target, take this one, and then see what this one is about. Okay. Another stash of debris. Well, again, the best of starts, right? Well, it's 2 carbon this time, so that's not bad. That's twice as much as the last time when we started out like this. I just got 1 carbon then. Let's see what the others still have to offer to us. And I will actually run the other relic site as well very quickly. We'll do our tour and see what happens when we get back into Tashinas. So here we go. Get within 6. Good to go. Again, I tend to just go straight across. And second one, just as lucky. Yeah, that's not bad. 7 million. Ooh, well, the increased salvage. Look at that. 7 million from 1 intact armor plate. That is not bad for the effort, I must say. And must be very attractive to like alpha players that just want to dabble into exploration, that want to start out by earning some easy ISK without having to have like a super expensive or high performing ship. And oh, I'm already here on the next one as well. Okay. Yeah, you can run this in like a small exploration frigate. And here tripwire, that is not much. Okay, well, I gotta say that is surprisingly good for this high-sec relic site. 7 million. Not bad. Okay, let's go to the next one and see if we can get lucky. But yeah, you can run these sites in no, I actually want to take a look at the market on this one. So you've got frigates, and I think they're just under the standard frigates. For instance, you can just grab the Imicus, and that one has a bonus to probes, to the relic, and the data analyzer. And so it costs almost nothing. Let's see if we can, less than 500,000 ISK, and it's going to allow you to, whoa, and this one actually has 5 of them as well. All right, interesting. Let's get going. Yeah, this is super accessible, and if stuff like that now drops in these sites, that is something to keep in mind, in my opinion. So let's see what the second site has to offer. We'll just try to run this as quickly as possible. Again, the goal here is to get across, and there it is. So very easy so far. That's nothing too special. We'll take the next one. And so this is 5 of these debris. Okay. That's actually a decent amount. A micro drive would be better for this. Do I have room for that on my fitting? Yeah, I might actually be able to do that. A compact or an enduring micro drive might actually be possible, and it would help a lot. Now, some people might just not know that I always put the fit in the description of the video. So here it is. Let me quickly hack this one, get underway. So we can go across the road. Let's see if we find it. There it is again. Yeah, pretty smooth exploring. Unfortunately, loot all, nothing that I need. Orbit at 500. And there we go. And so my fit here for this all-in-one exploration Ishtar, we've got 3 lasers on top, just helps a little bit with some of the small targets. We of course have the probe launchers and the sister core scanner probes. Always try to buy 16 probes, it just helps your rotation a lot better. Compact afterburner, a cap battery, then we've got a relic and a data analyzer in the mid slots and in the load slots with that damage control. Energized EM membrane, a C-type medium armor rep that is quite expensive, and then just energized adaptive nano, and then we've got 2 drone damage amplifiers. Here we've got 2 auxiliary nano pumps that help with the tank. This gets you through practically anything that you encounter quite easily, and as you can see right here, it also allows you to run almost any site that you find in Heisig as well. Relic Sites. Well, 2 carbon again. Well, let's see if it's the precursor of some more luck. But yeah, this ship will run relic sites, data sites, combat sites, all of that without any problem whatsoever. And why are we... Oh, okay. Gotta go all the way back there. So let's get rid of these targets. And I might just have been exceptionally lucky by finding an intact armor plate in one of these Heisig relic sites, but we'll see. Sasha debris at 14, let's go, and then we still have one that's far away at 39 kilometers. But alright, let's be patient. That's all part of the EVE Online experience, so we're not gonna leave that out. You need some patience. This is not a game for people that want very fast results. I think we can keep going a little bit in this direction then. There it is. Yep. Pretty easy. 900,000. Okay. Not super good, but at least there was something half decent in there. These 9 contaminated nanite compounds. Almost 1 million ISK from that. Few market details. Let's see if I can find a price history chart. Up a little bit, but nothing too drastic in the last month or so. And then we have a final Sasha debris to take a look at. Let's see how lucky we can get here. If we can get substantially above 8 million for these 2 relic sites. And yeah, a microbe drive would help you get to these debris a lot more quickly, of course. So 14, go, go, go. And I think pressing approach would help a little bit as well, although it's really not super important. Get in range a bit more quickly. And then, yeah, here it's not that easy to just assume where the core is going to be, but again, across the road seem to help a lot. And another 500,000 in these same contaminated nanite compounds. Alright, not that bad considering the effort. You could do this a lot more quickly, as I've said, in something like an Imicus or just an exploration frigate. Super accessible, and I'm actually surprised to see this Tech 2 salvage, because this is actually Tech 2 related, drop from this site. Important to know basically that this is in the Heisig loot table now as well, and potentially that does mean, I mean, this is good for earning yourself 14 exploration hulls, so that you can then have a reserve and maybe try your luck in wormhole space or something like that. So it's definitely very nice for very early players, I think. So that's 2 signatures gone. We are going to continue up in Dira. So local is still at 4. I'm guessing some locals are up and running, maybe doing some mining and things like that. And here we have 2 more signatures to take a look at, so let's get going. Go, go, go. They don't look large enough to be too interesting. 9 in local as well. That's pretty normal for this system. Why Dira has ice belts. So there's definitely some ice miners that live in local as well. There is unfortunately no active belt right now. That usually keeps the locals busy and gives you a better chance at a good signature. So we're gonna quickly take a look at what they are, but I fully expect 2 wormholes, to be honest. as the amount of anomalies is quite low as well. So I think local people are cleaning everything up as it becomes available. That means that if I'm right, my best move is to warp to the next gate already. This is actually a combat site. Okay, kind of weird and not too easy to find at this point. So let's see if I made a mistake. Yeah, oh, okay, well, that's definitely a mistake. You want to be able to warp to that as quickly as possible. Destination occupied mining colony. That's a 4 out of 10, and that's what we are looking for, of course. Very good chance at a good drop. So let's also get our mobile tractor unit in range for that. If we have the site, you want to deploy it. And then here a cosmic signature. Pretty easy to find so far, so definitely not a jump through that we want to do. Get out of warp, click, click. And that's just a Desolate Site, so that is not too interesting. Alright, let's see if we have the site. I don't expect it, I gotta be honest, but we are going to check, of course. And we might actually run the competition if someone else has started a site. So the reason I'm not expecting it is normally you'd have 1 or 2 ice anomalies available. That's where most of the activity would go to at that moment. Right now, I think these 9 people, these 8 other people in local will be looking at stuff here. And what the hell? Did I misclick? We actually have a Praxis running the drone site. Yeah, that's not looking good then at all. But now it's my 4 out of 10. God damn it. That's not a mistake that you want to make. But yeah, shows you that the locals are cleaning up, I think. Even this drone gathering is now being actively run by a bloody battleship. So let's see what this is about. Go, go, go. We might be lucky, of course, if it just spawned in. But let's see. And with a D-scan, might give you a bit of an idea as well. But you never know. Just last week, what happened to me was that I found a vigil. First room was cleared out by someone. Second room came in there. The True Sunshine was available with like 10 other ships. And yeah, I am actually lucky because this is not started. All right, let's get going. Let's try to make a good time out of it. So guards come out. Start with the small stuff. That tends to get under your range. If you want to, in this first room, you can also use your mobile tractor units. But you really do want to try and have an efficient first room. Considering everything else that I told you guys here, people will be looking for this site actively as there is no ice available at the moment. So let's try and do that then. Clear everything out. Need some more targets. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything in range for my lasers? Just get 27. Yep, blop, there it is. That one is gone. Then we're gonna start with the closest cruisers and battle cruisers. So that's like that. Add in the lasers. And there we go. Frigates cleaned out by the time that the first cruiser gets within 25 kilometers. I think that's pretty damn good. That is decently quick. The wrecks, though, are not looking too hot. So that one is at 30. Definitely okay to go after. Why is this important? Well, at 25 to 30 kilometers, my guards are much more consistently going to do their damage. Once the enemies get within 20 kilometers, you're gonna see a lot more misses and you are going to miss out on your DPS. So the faster you run this first part, the better it's going to be overall. So there we go. That one needs to go down. Take him out. Then we get an X crater at 30. Just adding the lasers. There is a bit of loot coming in, which is okay. Come on, full volleys at 28. The rest are sticking at 30 kilometers for now. Still slowly approaching. Next one. And then I guess you could try like a timing. They're all on this side, so I could try to, for instance, head towards that gate and use the ogres. I think we'll do that after we kill just one more. So we'll take this loot. Then I'll 500,000. Scoop cargo hold. If you really feel like you've got plenty of time, then what you can do is, of course, try to grab all the loot and salvage yourself in this first room. But here I do feel like getting away from the warping point is important. Give me a bit of a head start. And I have my 5 ogres, which you'll see do quite a bit of damage as well. Take care of the final 2 targets. Blop, first one is down. Next one. Make sure that I press approach and not warp. And yeah, where they are is important as well. Of course, if you get a cruiser on the other side, try to take that one out with your sentries before this happens. Call your drones back. And we still have 20 kilometers to go. So the most efficient is probably leave 3 of them. Although these guys are still coming back. And then this won't take that much longer. So there you go. I think this is decently efficient. 3 cruisers might be your option, but I was basically actually lucky that all 3 of them were on the same side of my Ishtar. Once they're spread out, let's say that you have 2 here and then 1 on this side, yeah, don't do it. Kill that left one with your sentries and stick to 2 ogres for your run to the gate. 2 targets for your run to the gate. There we go. Second room. Quick stack all. Again, get your mobile tractor unit available. And we're not gonna waste too much time in this site either if we can avoid it. Grab the True Sancha. Spam that target button. God damn it. Don't misclick like this. Guards deployed. Alright, target's taken. Mobile tractor unit goes out, and then that gives me a bit of time to put this stuff back. That goes into small. That goes into ogre. That goes into Salvafe. There we go. And he's half down. True Sancha Foreman at 40 kilometers. Pretty much perfect for my sentries at this point, so you can see that we are volleying through this quite well. He's also going straight towards me, pretty much towards me, so that means not too much angular velocity. We should get some good hits in on this. Forgot to actually grab a cruiser to fire at after this. Is this super important? No, but if you're unlucky and your drones actually one-shot a frigate at this point, then your loot frigate might take precedence over the loot that you want, and so don't really want to waste too much time on that. In the meantime, we're doing quite okay, so we're just gonna take out some extra frigates as well because we can, and then you can just watch your overseer loot come in. So awesome start, especially if we would see some nice loot from this. Let's see what we got. Move it in. There it is. And we have 5 million. Not that great, but faction pieces that might be useful, especially the Energized EM membrane here. So scoop your stuff and let's move on to the next system. All we have left is a Desolate Site. And so we basically beat local to this 4 out of 10. So, and what is the one that was worth a couple million then? Let's take a quick look at that. There it is. True Sancha Armor EM Hardener, 3.4 million. That's after, well, Dital Chunka. So this is my 4th system. Not so bad. So next up we've got Neil. Pretty decent system as well. but not as good in my experience as Chunka and Tashnaz. Those two really stand out in the early part. If I'm really lucky, then that's where we get lots of stuff. And they often give me a good idea of what's gonna happen in the rest of the run. Here we can clearly see we only have like a really small signature in the middle of the system, 2 people in local, so this has been cleaned out. I'm seeing more activity, so I don't think that we'll have a lot of great opportunities. I am curious when we'll get back to Chunka and Tashinaz though. So this is Haunted Yard. Potentially really good, but I think you can't take a heavy assault cruiser in those. Only a faction cruiser, so a Gila would run them. A Caracal Navy issue as well, but I don't think you can use the Ishtar in the Haunted Yards. So off we go to Lower Devil then. Let's see. Lower Devil, also a more busy system. The reason for that is it's got a station in it with research capabilities. So that does mean that again, some industrialists, some more research-based characters do live in that system. And as a result, it tends to be busier, and I don't tend to find lots of good sites there. Same problem as with Dital, except that Dital sometimes, not Dital, Dira sometimes has the ice belt up and running, which means that pretty much all of local will be there. Here, well, it's just the research facility that you can use at any time anyways. So it's only 3, that gives me some hope for not too much competition, but you can also see that it's only 1 cosmic signature, a decently large one, but normally there's a bit more here. So normally we'd see more anomalies. They don't tend to clean those up, so that in my opinion means that there's more explorers roaming around these systems at the moment, which means that, that I've been very lucky at grabbing that 4 out of 10 despite all the miswarps. So, Vladimir, I think he often explores as well. It is a combat site. So let's see if I'm right on that. Let's see what it is, and then we'll quickly take a look and see if Vladimir Kulibin is in any of these. It's something that I do from time to time now, maybe in the drone gathering. Let's go take a quick look. So Sasha Lookout, that's really not worth it. Take a quick look and see if he's in the drone gathering or not. Oh, and we should then, if you're curious about that, D-scan. There we go. It's actually a Gila. That is exploring indeed. That gives me a lot of information actually about what's happening. And let's see if he's in the drone sites. No, he's not. Okay, then he's probably in the Sansha Lookout. Anyways, that means that we should get ahead of him. Let's leave him to clean up this small stuff. And move up to Upper Debil. Upper Debil, very good system for exploration in my opinion. Usually something that's also left alone a little bit, because I don't think you need to go through Upper Debil in order to get to the other systems. You basically have a triangle between Upper Debil, Ledia and Lower Debil, so you can skip it if you want. And for traveling, most people will, which means usually you get lots of signatures, lots of anomalies in there. There's nothing special in the system, so local should be pretty low. Again, that is going to give me lots of info on whether or not there's competition out there. I expect Vladimir to be in his Gila, to be competing, and yeah, I think he just cleaned everything up. So, and he's coming in the opposite direction, basically. Interesting, because usually you'd find at least 3 signatures and like half a dozen anomalies in this system. So I think he has been cleaning that up. Let's see what this is. We might be lucky with something that just spawned, but no, it's just a Sasha hideout. So we're moving up to Ledia next. Lediaha, actually. Laddiaha, okay. But I am alone in local. Let's see what we spot over there. If you want to get from the research stations in Lower Debil to Amar, I do think you have to pass through Lediaha, so as a result, I don't think this is a great system. And basically that's the route that most people take, that go straight from lower Debel to that system, and which is why upper Debel is often a great one for exploration. So what do we encounter here? Well, we enjoy the gate effects, of course. 16-year-old game, guys. Looks amazing. Sasha hideaway, so nothing. And now, well, I do think I'm right in what's been happening. This is something as an explorer that you also need to learn, is who else is living there, what are their habits, and then just try to figure out what you're competing against. Here it's pretty obvious that we're competing against a pretty thorough explorer. He's in his Gila, but he's not afraid to run smaller anomalies. He's cleaned up upper Debel completely, which means that not that long ago he's probably been here in Lediaha, Yudala, and the other systems that he tends to roam around in as well. Here another foreign local. The anomaly is gone, so people are definitely pretty desperate for sites at the moment. That does mean that there's a decent amount of competition out there, and they're pretty thorough. So you're gonna have to play it smart. An empty Yudala is not abnormal. Again, another highway system, not just to the research system, but also to Dira, to Dital, to Lowsec, and to Providence. If you want to get back to Amar, you gotta go through Yodala. So this one has lots of traffic. You can see that here, 9 in local all of a sudden, but nothing in the signatures and anomalies. Yeah, it means that people are cleaning that up. And as I've said, someone is going in the exact opposite direction. So my best hope is actually SSAMA in Dital again. Then my quick rounds in Chunka and Tashinas, hoping that my relic cleanup has triggered something. Otherwise, honestly, I would expand. I would expand to taking a look at more systems in the void at this point, and I wouldn't just keep doing my round, because you know that it's pretty busy at the moment. So here we go, SSAMA. It does have one cosmic signature, and so now you're basically 3, 4, maybe even 5 systems behind what they in all likeliness checked out just before. So there is a chance, a decent chance, that this is new. If it's not a wormhole, then there is a chance that this is something new and potentially something good. Of course, it's worth taking a look at that. It's only one signature as well, so we're gonna do it. But yeah, learn to figure out who else is doing the same activity as you. Try to figure out their habits, and then you can decide on basically avoiding them or staying a bit ahead of them, which can often be quite nice. This is a wormhole, unfortunately. So we're gonna head back for Dital, and then get into the habits of perhaps checking systems that you have been very lucky in with the combat sites that spawn and things like that. Or what I would do in this specific case, considering the very low amount of stuff available, is to expand. Get on Dotlan, see if you can't find another route of maybe 5, 6 systems, and try to create a bigger route for you to check to increase your chances. So Dital, then we will quickly go up to Tashinas to see what's happening there, if anything new spawned, if I'm lucky or not, and if my activity will pay off. So I'd hope that I do so before the Gila actually enters there, so we do have to be decently fast, but already not that bad. I'm actually decently happy with this exploration run already. Any of those good combat sites is pretty awesome. So back home, let's see what's happening there. That was completely empty, and there is a refuge and a signature, so quick drop of the probes. Let's head over there. Local up to 17, so you can see that Dital has become a very popular system compared to all the others that we took a look at. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible to get a good site here. So especially now that we know, well, this has dropped within the last 30 minutes at the earliest, so that's not bad. And it's decently tricky to find already. We're at a warp, so we're gonna drop our ogres. We'll approach that just a little bit to get closer to the spawns. And unfortunately it's a data site. Let's see if it's actually cache or not. Because we already saw the change in drops and value in the relic sites. If we could take a look at the data site, it could be interesting as well. This ought to be alright. Alright, it's Sansha, so that should be doable. And yeah, a refuge, definitely try to grab that. As you can see, you can do this completely AFK while you're taking a look at the rest of the system. So there we go, that is done. Let's do that, switch to my Gleam. And your ogres, well, they'll make short work of most of those enemies. Blop, there they go. Slave Hunter and Savage. Fire lasers almost down. So that's why I like him. Decent application, and you can definitely kill some of the smaller rats with it. It also gives you that option to actually finish something that manages to get under your sentry drones. Which is mostly these little frigates and destroyers, of course. So there we go, send your abomination. Let's go. And that's it. No true Sansha, no escalation, but that's okay. That's what happens in most of these sites. And then we'll take a quick look at that data site, and then we'll finish with Chunka Tashina's Dira again, just to see what's happening there. But yeah, this is exploration in EVE Online, in Highsec at least. In Wormhole space, it's completely different, of course. There, you always feel like there's a Proteus that's approaching you while cloaked, especially when you're in the Relic and the data site. So I would never take something like a heavy assault cruiser in there, of course. That's where those small little exploration frigates will come in handy. Lowsec, I always feel like it's not really worth bothering with that too much, just because, well, if you want to do the combat sites, if you want to get the drops, you want to do the combat sites, and if you want to do those, then yeah, you need a decently expensive ship just to run them quickly enough to try and avoid any of the locals, and you're seen in locals, so it's pretty tricky to do. And then for nullsec, honestly, the move would be join an alliance then, because then you can explore at least within the sphere of influence of your alliance, giving you much better odds for survival. Alright, so we start out with the Relic Sites, which gave us some good loot. Let's take a quick look here at this data site then. Alright, where are you? 5? God damn, somewhere completely different apparently. There we go. Alright, a filament. That's interesting. Next one. Or that one is closer. We'll take this one, that's okay. So a filament, alright, added to the loot table. It will always be tier 1s, I think. But it potentially means that it gives you something to do, of course. Especially as an alpha clone again. And it's half your ship. It's like 230,000 discs, so that is not that bad. You gotta keep that in mind. The price of entry to this content is really not high. And here we got 2 million. Alright, let's grab it. Take a quick look at what that's about in a moment. Get this one at 5k. Quick look, is it a decryptor? 500,000? Yeah, 1.6 million. Alright, augmented decryptor. Not that bad. Jesus. This might mean that I'll do more full rounds, to be honest. Especially for these data sites. Here's another decryptor of 500,000. Not a great value, but add all of that up. And we are starting to talk about some ISK that I think would be very welcome for an alpha clone. So keep in mind, except for the 4 out of 10, you could have done this in like a frigate that costs like 500,000 ISK. And you could have done so far more quickly than what I'm doing here, because of course you get far better speed. So final one, unfortunately an empty container. But alright, not bad. I feel like these have treated me pretty damn fairly, actually. I'm quite surprised by that. So the increased price of salvage means better returns on the relic sites, and honestly the decryptors, that is not bad. One site, 3 million in decryptors. That's definitely quite okay. So I should probably look into a micro drive on this Ishtar, and then to actually, yeah, take a look at all those relics and those data sites, find an efficient way of running them, so that this, of course, right here, it feels a bit like a hassle because of the Afterburner. It takes a bit of travel time, which you don't really want to do, but that's fixable. So very interesting so far. Alright, Chunka has a new signature, local still at 3. I'm not seeing Vladimir here, and it is pretty big, so let's get to scanning and let's hope it's good. So something else that descans, we get my probes. We do have another Ishtar. Okay, so it's probably gonna be a combat site, and then the Ishtar is gonna be there. That's what I expect. So normal me would just actually take a look at what it is and then move up to Tashinas, just to make sure that I don't do another pass here and that it's for instance a wormhole or something like that. You want that information. But now that it's combat site and we know there's another Ishtar in there, let's go take a look and see how that player is. Thessaria, apparently. Yeah, a nation-occupied mining colony is trying to handle that site. Let's see if we can skip ahead and race for the loot. That could be interesting. Ishtar versus Ishtar. Let's see if I'm fast enough. But this is another one of those things. Yeah, I cleaned up a couple sites in Tashinas. I found a Sanchez nation-occupied mining colony, and just one jump away, that Sanchez occupied mining colony seems to have respawned again. This is a pattern that I'm seeing from time to time as well, where you can get very lucky if I was going in the right direction. Now you can find the same good site several times in just a couple of jumps. And here it's obviously respawned, considering we have been here about 40 minutes ago. So off we go. Let's see what we find in that first room. Are you still running that? She's at the gate. Nope, not yet. She's actually just finished the first room. So let's go. It's just to take a look and see what her Ishtar strategy is about. Speed-wise, I'm really curious. 1300, yeah, definitely faster than me. Probably micro drive, maybe faction. Probably micro drive, and then let's see. Ooh, actually, aha, very nice. Was actually doing what I said you could do. If you feel like you've got the time, then, you know, tractor all the loot, salvage, take your time with it. Probably noticed me coming in the system and so decided to start traveling to the gate. Well, we're not gonna steal the true Sansha, but I do want to see if Thessaria is also using the sentry drone meta, which is the one that I'm using, of course. So let's get in there. Go, go, go. Micro drive. Damn, this again confirms that it would be a good idea. It would be a good idea to actually grab that and see if I can make that work on this fit. But usually, if it weren't for the recording, I would actually just skip this. I would move to Tashinas and hope for something new to be found there. So off we go. Just gonna take a quick look and see if we're talking sentry drones or if it's something different. Yep. Yeah. There you go. Actually using, let's see here, Republic Fleet Bouncers. And is she targeting the true Sansha? Let's see. And she's actually moving. Okay, that's interesting. That's not the way I run these. I feel like you can be a bit more efficient by just sticking it out here and not doing too good damage. So yeah, Garde IIs might be something to look into, but I'll leave this site. And maybe if the application just isn't that great, you're basically forced to do the kiting, which is what she's doing right there. Interesting. I'll leave the site because, well, she found it, so she earned it, he or she. Let's take a look here. Yeah, Thessaria. all yours. But Ishtar, Sentry, Mobile Tractor Unit, it's a pretty good combination. So let's see if we can get lucky, because we still want to get to Tashinos before Vladimir does. If we want a chance at something else, then we gotta hurry up. And then we'll do Dira and we'll go back home. Regular medium-sized session, something like this would be. If I feel like extending it, as I've said, I'd go to Dotlan, look for something extra to do. And this has been cleaned out completely. Don't see our Gila just yet, but we do see more people in local again. An Anathema here, quick look at D-scan. It's too big to see. So, okay. Let's take one final look at Dira. We have already been lucky there with a 4 out of 10. Let's see what we find here. But you can tell, I think, high activity, lots of competition. That does mean expand your route, basically. Give yourself a better chance. Add half a dozen more systems to take a look at it. And just try and avoid all of that competition a little bit by expanding out. So, Dira, let's see what we're talking about here. Well, there's a refuge, so just to finish, we will quickly run that refuge, see if we can get lucky with a faction drop or something like that. Very low chance of that, but yeah, basically that is going to be it for this exploration session, guys. I hope it can be useful, especially for some newer players. Again, look at the returns on that relic and that data site. Not bad at all, in my opinion. Definitely something to look into if you're newer to the game and you want to get into exploration, earn your way to, for instance, an Ishtar or a Gila or something like that. Then that is definitely an option. And yeah, something like a destroyer will probably be fitable into, you know, able to do these refuges, which potentially can give you good loot as well, and of course running those relic and data sites pretty quickly and efficiently. So there's definitely a path for you to get into this type of activity as well. So all of this just needs to die. There we go. The sentry towers. Why are you guys missing? You just need one hit on the scavenger and then we're good. So even here within 5 kilometers, my lasers will not track the scavenger, but just one lucky shot is all we need. And then sometimes they're slow enough to be hit, but basically, yeah, he's too close. And that one... Ooh, actually a hit. Not bad. Blap, down she goes. I won't leave the results from this this side out for you guys. That's the Devourer. Then we get an Enslaver up there. But yeah, the Ogres, look at how they deploy themselves around the spawn point and they can basically just start shooting at anything from those positions. That's pretty good. Maybe we should take a look at what they're doing actually. There he goes. Presumably taking a target. Yep, finally going after the Manslayer. I'll add my laser. There goes the laser beam. And there goes the shot. And then, ooh, right in the middle of the next spawn. That's where he was at. And I love how much more visible the shots are now. So we got ogres amongst all of these Sasha ships. Also, actually, yeah, showing the difference in size quite nicely. Actually, pretty cool perspective. There goes that shot, pretty good. Next target, income by lasers. Shields are almost down. Blap, down she goes. And while that was pretty cool to look at, unfortunately, we didn't really see anything drop or spawn. So there you go, guys. That's it for this exploration run. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.